Hey friends, today I wanted to talk about something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, when I found out about it, it kind of changed my life, and I think it's important for people to know about it. Um, a lot of people know about post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, but complex post-traumatic stress disorder is different. And I have a lot of opinions about it. For one, I think that it's just another label. And I think that all mental illnesses, pretty much all, stem from, really go under the umbrella of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I also believe that it's just another label for the medical industry to put you in a box or a category to give you a certain type of pill, so that they can get insurance money. And what I've also learned is that you don't heal from those pills. It actually disconnects you even more from yourself. And healing is all about reconnecting to your authentic self, to your true self. So they're not doing a very good job when it comes to that. So what is complex post-traumatic stress disorder? Well, it is like post-traumatic stress disorder, where you'll have flashbacks and you'll have the same symptoms, but it's actually different. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Let's start with post-traumatic stress disorder. Sorry, I'm going to mix you guys all up here. But so post-traumatic stress disorder is when you've had an incident that causes trauma. So it's usually one event, like you have a car accident, and that now you're scared to get into cars. You're having flashbacks about the accident. It's disrupting sleep. You're having nightmares. It could be all kinds of things, right? Every time you see a red car, you get scared, or different triggers. But it really comes from one event. And with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, it's complex because it's not just one event. It's many events that cause trauma, one after another, but it's also when you're in a situation where you can't escape. For example, kids get complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and obviously grow into adults that have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So kids, if their parents are abusive or someone in the family lives with them and is abusive, they can't really escape, right? You can't leave your parents. So they're kind of in a situation where they're stuck, and they're being abused. So that causes complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Or another example is survivors of domestic violence. They're trapped in a marriage. They sometimes can't leave. They don't have the financial needs. They're being abused. They don't know where to go. They're scared. They don't know if they're going to get killed if they leave. And they're being abused in the relationship, so they can't really escape. So they will get complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, not necessarily, but it is where it stems from. That's how you can get it. And it causes big time trust issues, relationship problems, problems with emotional regulation, and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that most trauma, and pretty much all of us on earth are walking around with some sort of trauma, because trauma is just a type of disconnection that happens when something is too difficult, and it kind of fragments you, and part of you leaves you. So you got to go look at that part and bring it back, if that makes sense. But anyways, there's good news, because whether you've been diagnosed with depression, bipolar, personality disorders, anxiety, dissociative disorders, there's so many names now out there, but I think it's all the same thing. And it all can be healed by going to the root cause of the problem. And so that's very doable. So I think you can put your chin up and know that it could all get better just by you knowing some tools and having some knowledge and doing some work throughout your life and entering your healing journey. So you can heal. You don't have to be on medications that numb you and disconnect you even more. Yeah, so get empowered. You're not a victim anymore. Yes, we might have been victims of a certain event, but we are not victims. It's not our identity, and we can take our power back and heal, and be well. So get excited. It's doable. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you understood the difference between PTSD and complex PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.